This is the PR Podcast, a show about how public relations helps you tell your story to the world. We talk with great PR practitioners who have the skills, creativity, and just plain savvy to get their clients noticed. Now here's your host, Jody Fisher.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the PR Podcast. I'm Jody Fisher. Thanks for joining us. Well, don't forget to watch our YouTube channel. We have 250 plus episodes that we've recorded and posted since the start of the podcast back in 2020. And all of them are available on YouTube. Now, some of them, the earlier ones, don't have a video component to them, meaning we never saved the video and posted the video. But probably 150 or more of them are definitely video episodes, and you can watch as well as listen. Now, there's nothing wrong with listening on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, but if you really want to get to know our guests, tune in to our show on YouTube. Just search The PR Podcast on YouTube, because there's only one The PR Podcast. Like, subscribe, get notified when there's a new episodes. New episodes drop every Monday, as long as we've got a guest. And sometimes even when we don't. So check us out there on YouTube at The PR Podcast. Now on with our show for today. And today is a solo episode. Speaking of not having guests, we don't have a guest today, but today's episode is all about summer. So it's right after July 4th, actually taping this on Monday, July the 6th. And thought that with summer fully kicking in, at least here on Long Island and in the Northeast, I know the summer schedule is a little bit different down in the South, and maybe where you are elsewhere in the world. But here on Long Island, summer has officially kicked in, and it really runs, the summer season runs from July 4th through Labor Day. Basically the first weekend of September. I think this year it's like the second weekend of September, but nevertheless. It is the time where, we love being outside, where we go to the beach, where we go to the park, where the kids are out of school. And that's really the driver, at least here in our household, with two kids, school-age kids. It's summertime and everybody's home for summer having a good time. But summer can also be a slower time, or at least a strange time in public relations. And I thought we would do an episode here about how PR people can use the summertime to both put up some wins now and to prepare for the fall. On one hand, things slow down in the summertime. Clients go on vacation, reporters are in and out, newsrooms can be short-staffed. The pace can feel a little lighter, and frankly, I think it should. But that does not mean that summer is a dead zone. In fact, summer can be one of the best times of the year to get smart, get creative, and get strategic about your client's visibility. Because while everyone else is assuming that nothing is going on, good PR people are always looking for openings. We're asking, what can we pitch now? What can we build now? What can we prepare now? And so that when we're ready, when September hits and everything gets busy again, because people come back from summer, that first week of right after Labor Day here in the United States, people they freak out and they go, we got to get everything done right now. And you cruise very, very quickly into the end of the year, the end of the calendar year. So let's take this episode today to talk about a few things that PR people can do this summer to maximize exposure for clients and get ready for the busy fall season. Number one, you got to look for summer story angles and strong summer visuals. Every client has a summer angle, I think. It might not be obvious, but it is probably there if you look hard enough. A nonprofit might have summer programs, volunteer needs. There might be food security, insecurity issues that your nonprofit client is working with. Youth activities, back to school prep. Businesses likely have seasonal hiring. They can talk about summer spending trends or tourism or even safety tips. Schools, universities, camps, they have great visuals. They have student stories, they have expert advice, they have community impact. Healthcare clients might be able to talk about things like heat safety, caregiver stress, senior isolation or hydration, travel, health, and mental wellness. The key in all these cases is not to force the story, but to connect the client's expertise and what they do to what people are already thinking about right now during the summer. In other words, make it relevant. Make it relevant for what's going on. Look closely and hard enough and find the summer story angles that your client can weigh in on. I think that you got to ask when you're asking about those stories, you always got to think visually. Summer is one of those seasons that are just visual intense, right? People love a good summer photo, whether it's at the beach or at the park or at the water park or on the baseball field, wherever it is, right? Visuals tell the story of summer. So when you're creating that story pitch or that story angle, ask what's the picture, what's the video, what's the scene, what would make someone stop scrolling or make a producer stop in their tracks and go, hey, we want that on our air. We want that photo in our newspaper. Reporters are always looking for seasonal content, local examples, expert voices, photos and video when the weather is good, and even when the weather is bad. Weather is always a good news story because it affects everybody. So don't wait for that big announcement that's going to come down the pipe. Go create something. Look at what's happening in the world. Look at what's happening in your community and ask, is there a useful story there? Is there a visual moment there? Is there a story I can tell and make relatable to my community? Number two, check in with reporters without asking for anything. Summer is a great time to just check in with reporters because they can be running at a slower pace too, right? They're still churning out stories. And checking in without asking for anything is probably one of the most underrated things that PR people can do. Not every interaction with a reporter has to be a pitch. Summer can be a good time just to send a simple note that says, hey, I saw your piece, or I'm just checking in, seeing what's coming up down the pike, how I can be helpful. Or maybe you can let them know, hey, I noticed you changed beats, or you changed publications, you changed bosses. Check in with them. Again, not just saying, hey, cover my thing, but actually, hey, how you doing? What's going on? How can I be helpful? No pressure, no attachments, no fake urgency, just human connection. Relationships are not only built when you need something, relationships can simply be built because we're all human. Number three, review what work of yours worked and what did not. We sometimes don't get a chance to play Monday morning quarterback with our own work, right? And look in the mirror and say, hey, how did that turn out? Did that turn out the way I wanted it to? Why did it not turn out that way? What can I do better? What pitches landed? What ones went nowhere? What ones slowed the process down? And what do outlets like? How are their likes evolving? Publications don't stay stagnant. Even though they may cover the same topic, even though a reporter may cover the same beat, even though a local TV station might cover the same geography, they're not just doing the same thing over and over and over again. They're always looking for something new or different or unusual. Summer gives you a chance to do that, to look in the mirror and say, hey, is what I'm doing working for the clients that I'm taking care of, and is it reaching the outlets that they and the audiences that they want to be reaching? It's not about beating yourself up over what didn't work. The goal is to make you and your work get smarter. So if a certain type of pitch performs well, great, double down. If something doesn't work, figure out why it didn't work, figure out what you can tweak. Stop trying to force them, right? I mean, sometimes you pitch a story, it's a great story. And for whatever reason, it doesn't land. We're not talking about that. We're talking about stuff that you look at and you go, that didn't work the way I thought it was going to work. Can I make it better? Can I change it, make it different, and make it land? Have that conversation with yourself before you start ramping up in the busy season that is fall post Labor Day. Number four, use this slower summer pace to clean up your media list. Boy, we all have media lists, right? This isn't glamorous work. We all have media lists, and media lists are important. Media lists are not 1,000 reporters big, right? I just did a social media post about this the other day. Your media list, you should have multiple media lists. I arrange them three ways. I arrange them by client, by geography, and by subject matter. And so I'm able to combine those lists, and they're all really small. I mean, they're maybe 25-ish, maybe they're definitely under 50 people. Every single list is definitely under 50 reporters. But I'm able to combine those lists in a way that makes sense when I send out news, or I send out a pitch, or I send out a media advisory. I'm not just pushing the same list over and over and over again and saying, well, if they don't want it, they can just delete it. That's how you get a bad rap, right? And a bad media list can kill a good pitch, but also a bad media list can kill your reputation. So go through your media list this summer, go through all those contacts, make sure that the contacts are updated, make sure that those reporters are on the right lists, that they're not misplaced somewhere. Figure out whose contact information needs to be updated. Did they change outlets? Did they change beats? Did they change jobs within their publication? Blasting 1,000 to 1,000 people is not a strategy. Sending a relevant pitch to 10 people who actually care is. So use the summer season to refine your media list, get them prepped up, make sure you're ready to go for the rest of the summer, as well as we move into the fall. Number 5, build your client's expert bench. Subject matter experts are always in demand. They're not always in demand all the time, but when a reporter needs an expert, they need them now. They need them today. And I'm talking about everybody from, attorneys and doctors and dentists and engineers to sociologists and psychologists and political experts. You name it, the reporters sooner or later need it. Some more often than others, but your client has subject matter expertise. So get their bio together, right? Get their background together, get their headshot together, get a small video reel of them together. If they really want to be on TV, go in and sit down with them and do a fake media interview and get a little 30-second, 45-second video reel together with them that you can send out to TV stations. When they are asking for a subject matter expert, you can not only send them their headshot and a small bio, but you can also send them that little video reel that shows what they're going to look at like when they show up on TV. That will change a producer's mind in a heartbeat. And make sure that you have their contact information, right? Their phone number, their email address, the form of communication that they're going to pick up when you say, hey, reporter so-and-so at outlet XYZ needs to talk to an expert like you within the next hour. Are you available? You don't want to have to go through a PR person at the client. Talk to your contact at the client too and say, look, can I get this expert's information directly? Can I go to them directly as long as I keep you looped in? You should absolutely be able to do that. But summer is the time to get all this stuff ready, pull all this stuff together. Again, so you're ready when the fall comes. Don't wait till a reporter is on deadline to figure out whether your client has someone you can talk about a major issue. Get those people lined up. And you don't have to have 20. Get the good ones. Get the ones are going to come up, right? Get the ones that you think reporters are gonna need when they put their hand up and say, hey, do you have an expert on such and such? Number 6, create content that can work harder later. Summer is a great time to develop the pieces of content that you're going to need to support your campaigns in the fall. Whether that's drafting evergreen blog posts or opinion pieces, maybe you're creating LinkedIn content for them, right? Maybe it's not just all about earned media. Maybe you're doing other stuff on social media. I run the social media for several of my clients. What about FAQs or backgrounders or case studies? Get all those bits and pieces together. Get a flow going with your client over the next couple of months, and start creating content. I'll give you a little secret. Whenever I'm trying to develop a story, whether it's with a subject matter expert or whether it's just a story idea for a reporter that we want to pitch out or we want to put out a news release about, I will sit down and I'll record a video interview with the client. Why do I do that? One, I get to play reporter and I get to find out the critical pieces of information that I need to make a good pitch. And I get to find the story by asking those questions and not having it filtered through, 4 different people as it's coming back to me and we're trying to write a news release or a story pitch. That video interview then can be used for their social media. It can also be used to send out with a news release that TV stations and even print publications on their website can use if they choose to report on your story. So doing the video interview can yield tons of different content and yields it in the voice of the client. It's not their voice being filtered through your writing. It's actually their words. It can yield actual quotes that you can drop into your news release or your pitch. It can yield an entire opinion piece if you transcribe it and jazz it up a little bit. Do that video interview. It can cut through so much more work and go right to the core of the story you want to tell with your client. So if you know that your client should or want to have a voice in a conversation that's be coming up in September, July, and August are the months that you can take and use to get that material ready. Number 7, prepare your clients for speed. We kind of said this already, but get all the contact information, right? Reporters are moving on deadline. So don't wait to try to find somebody's contact when you find out a reporter needs somebody. While you're lining up those bios, those headshots, those points of view with your clients, get their cell phone number. Be able to text them. Or call them directly. Get their email number or email address. Get the home email address if that's the one that they look at in the summertime, because they don't look at their work one in the summertime. And get them ready to understand that when I call you, you need to respond. Even if the response is, I can't do it. That's a totally valid response. Just as much as, yeah, I'm available, is no, I'm not available today. You can move on. It's totally cool. And reporters appreciate that too. If a reporter comes to you and says, do you have an expert? And you say, yeah, I do. Give me a minute. The worst thing you can do as a PR person is keep that reporter hanging on and then come to them with a no 4 hours later, right? Then they got to start the whole thing all over again. So clients need to understand that media opportunities require fast decisions. Let them know that. Get them ramped up into that frame of mind, both over the summer and then as you move into the fall. And finally, give yourself some space to think. PR can be very reactive. Our inbox is always filling up. We're always writing something. We're probably working on 5 or 10 projects at a time. Your calendar is busy. Reporters are calling you and asking you for your help. You're also trying to pitch out stories. Summer is a time where all that kind of let's put it this way, it can slide back. So if it does for you, take that opportunity to downshift, right? Take the time to step back, not just analyze your work and make your work better, but also disconnect. Take the vacation. It doesn't have to be a week in Spain or whatever, although that sounds really nice. Take the long weekend. Take the Friday, Monday, and book it. Like, let your clients know, I'm out for 4 days, right? I'm not picking up the phone. I'm not doing email. Now we all know that we're glancing at our email and we're watching our inbox but we're trying not to engage, and that's the whole part, right? We try to disconnect a bit, because once September rolls around, man, you're dropping it into 5th gear. You're going. You're pedal to the metal, right? So take the time now. Go outside. Close the laptop. Touch the grass. Go to the beach. Do whatever you want to do. Don't sleep on the opportunity to recharge your own batteries, because when September comes, and we know it's coming, the people who prepared for that in July and August are going to be the ones who move faster, pitch smarter, and win more often. All right, so that's my advice. Take it or leave it, and I hope you can take something out of that. Really appreciate you listening to the show week after week. That is our show for today, and thank you everyone for listening. Please remember to subscribe to the show, connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at The PR Podcast, and send us a question or a comment. Our intro is by Christopher Apple. You can find him and his fantastic photography on Instagram at Christopher_APPOLDT. Check him out there and hire him for all your photography needs. You can find me online at Jody Fisher on all the socials and on the web at jodyfisherpr.com. We'll see you next time on the PR Podcast.